Welcome everybody. It is Thursday and I'm going to make it feel like a good old Friday. Thank you immediately to Horst PVHL for the sub, the OG child soldier. At this point, 6 months, you're not even a child anymore. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, ZVIH, thank you very much for the 10 gift subs. Ain't nobody watching fucking ads in here. The army of the great child soldiers, the Imperial Gunner stand, led by the white streamer class, is only increasing. Thank you very much, ZVIH. That's the 142nd fucking gift sub. I think that makes you top 3 oilers up in here. We love our oilers. We love swimming in oil. We love bathing in it. We love covering ourselves in it. Thank you very much, DPH. Everybody who got a sub, say fucking thank you before I find you and make you say thank you. Mwah, mwah. We are starting in exactly 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Holy shit, a hype train is already here. Thank you very much, Mike Bishop, for the resub. And oh my god, DPH is on a fucking roll today. Somebody got their salary, didn't they? Thank you very much for another fucking 8 tier 1 subs. Thank you, DPH. You are too fucking kind. We might even hit the actual target for this month, which would be insane. Everybody say, thank you very much, ZVIH. You are the best. You are the best. Thank you very much, especially if you got a good old sub from my good old boy, girl, or NB. I'm not sure, ZVIH. Tell me what I should call you. The hype is real, the hype is here. It is Thursday, it is only a couple of hours away from a Friday, so I might not even need to make it feel like a Friday, because it might become Friday. Starting in exactly 1 minute, pour yourself your favorite cup of whatever, ethanol included or not, and get ready for us to cover some news, talk about some memes, and dump in some chuds. The usual train is up in this motherfucker. Welcome, everybody, especially my beautiful child soldiers. How are we doing this fine evening, morning / afternoon? It is June 27th, between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. You will never know the exact time. I see some of the fucking regulars in here, such as Kabashi. I know some stuff. The good Lenin, Horst Beef HL by any means necessary, and the OG Ufigi. Welcome, welcome,
Wonderful.
welcome.
A new child soldier, subscriber.
Thank you very much again to Yannick Kabashi, the fucking OG of OG fucking subbers here, who has started a train at the beginning of today's fucking show. That is always a very nice thing to see. And as we always say, if the train hits level 5, that means it goes up in the sky, enlarges, and then plummets down like a beautiful, beautiful missile right on Netanyahu's house. But only in Minecraft. And holy shit, no, it's already level 5 hype train. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I didn't know it could backlog increase. Because of the previous gifts. Thank you very much again to Horst Beef, to ZVH, to Mike Bishop, to ZVH again, and to Yana Gibashi, because now the train is big enough, thick enough, large enough, high up enough in the sky for it to tear down every single apartheid regime supporting fucking politician we can think of. Yana Gibashi, leftover bits, thank you as well. Today, though, we have some positive news. Some positive news we had yesterday with the release of our good old WikiLeaks boy. But today they tried a coup. Yesterday, and the coup ended like this. Smoking that fucking joint on their beautiful, beautiful graves, even though the coup was pretty bloodlessly stopped, which was very interesting. Thank you very much, Ian Hinek, for the resub. Let us go and immediately start the conversation about it. Thank you, Connor, for the gifted sub as well. You guys are very, very kind today. And Lyra Cat for the 100 bits. Jesus Christ, I love my Oilers. I love bathing in the oil. I love covering myself in it. And most importantly, I like setting myself on fire. There you go, truth, as we say in my part of the world. Whenever somebody says something and then coughs immediately afterwards, that means that the truth has been said. Maybe a level 6 hype train, you never know. At this point, I am pushing it. But yes, Curb Your Enthusiasm, my beautiful, beautiful coup attempters, also known as I'm mixing up my billionaires. Also known as the Musk. It was a very musky coup attempt. So, who is our big expert here about South America? Of course, it's a white boy from Australia and originally from Greece, Bad Empanada himself. So, let's hear what the Empanada, the one true Lord and Savior of our great Balkan race, has to say. Let me just reset this up because, of course, goddamn disgusting ass OBS has to fuck everything up constantly. Hopefully we'll not be having problems like last time. Small updates about myself. As always, not much happened since yesterday. I was only preparing for my flight tomorrow, which is going to be absolutely insane. Hence the delay. Thank you very much, Comrade Crip. We love our Crips in here for the sub. And thank you very much, Red Phil, as always, a fucking OG here for 4 months. You're not even a child anymore. You're not even a child soldier. Anyways, I needed to prepare for the flight tomorrow, which is going to be insane. I think everything together with the layovers is going to be like 18 hours. And I'm going to go to the forbidden land, to the evil people land. I'm kidding. To a country of beautiful people and horrible governments. Hopefully they let me pass through the actual border check. That would be very awkward if that doesn't happen, because I'm going with my girlfriend's family, which very awkwardly is actually sitting in the living room. And, I'm going to be screaming now for the next 3 hours. Hopefully I do not interrupt their cute little lunch that they are having over there. But yeah, that's what is expected of me tomorrow, and then probably next week I will be streaming the same 3 times a week, but with a much simpler setup. So we'll see how that works. It might just be a hangout session where I rant about things that I care about instead of us watching particular things. Maybe I'll be able to find a monitor there and make a relatively proper setup so I can properly pull this off. I'm going to New Jersey in particular. Yeah, I know, like not much to see there, but it's close to New York, it's close to Philadelphia, so I might explore a bit. And my girlfriend's family who we are visiting and who invited us are very nice, so they'll probably show us around, etc., etc. I was maybe going to go and see Canada, but the visa system is super fucked up, so I didn't exactly manage to get it. So while they go to Canada, I might go see Philadelphia. Who the fuck even wants to see Canada? Am I right? They would what? They got like one waterfall and maple syrup. They don't even have guns. God fucking damn it. I'm meeting JT and Hakeem Nasreen a month after that in an undisclosed European country, though. So that's going to be very fun. But there, it's just going to be a family moment. So yeah, very nice to be again with you, chat, as absolutely always. Thank you for your patience with the slight delay with today's stream. Let's get right into the first topic of the day, which is the Bolivian coup. And as I previously said, let's listen to our biggest expert on the top. Why does it go on the whole screen? Like, I hate this, man. OBS sucks so much balls. I'll just zoom and see what his hot takes are.
Everyone.
Jesus, thank you very much, Dr. Sleepy Fist, for the 3 extra gift subs. We're so close to a level 7 hype train. At that point, it is going to turn into a nuclear missile that specifically targets the houses of every Zionist supporter inside of the apartheid regime itself. Jesus Christ, my LARP is truly intense and truly strong today. Now, will you have a meetup for your LOL New Jersey-based Ugopnik Sims? Yeah, and probably like 3 of them are going to be some alt-right schmucks that stab the shit out of me. I love you, but no, thank you. You know what I mean? There's a reason I wear a fucking mask. And thank you very much to Xi Jinping, who we will salute later on whenever we get another anonymous gifter as well for the gifted sub. And level 6 has been achieved, which is absolutely beautiful, absolutely wholesome, absolutely terrific. But now, okay, let me not take more out of your time. We'll of course continue thanking all my beautiful subs. I can see that we are most likely going to hit our June sub goal, which would be absolutely fucking amazing, and which obviously allows me to do this at a greater pace than I usually do, because it has to take away time from my other projects. But I'll be very transparent with you. It is already like much more financially feasible to me than YouTube, because I have around 1.2k I think that I make off of YouTube Patreon, and then if I ever get an ad, that's probably another K, but then I have to pay my editors, and that's already a lot less than what I currently make from good old Twitch. So that's thanks to all of you fantastic supporters that have allowed me to, continue doing this fully after I left my day job, etc., and be a full-time communist propagandist / clown on the internet, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's good, and I'm very grateful. But yeah, let's get into the news today. Let's listen to our favorite white boy talk about South America.
Straight to the point, there is presently an ongoing, very serious military coup attempt in Bolivia. It has been denounced as a coup attempt.
Jebe mu mater, ne plaća YouTube za rakiju, ne plaća, brate, ne plaća ništa. YouTube su fucking govna jebena.
By the vice president.
And thank you, Carly Wenger, for the resub. Thank you very much, my friend.
In a statement that he made on Twitter, and the president himself has denounced unauthorized military mobilizations in La Paz, the administrative capital of the country. The context for this is that yesterday, Jose Zuniga, the commander of the Bolivian armed forces, made a statement to the media where he said that he may order the military to arrest ex-president Evo Morales if he runs in the MAS party presidential primaries next year. Evo Morales running for president again is...
We've had plenty of guests from good old South America coming on the program, and I've personally talked to a lot of them, and they're pretty much their analysis on the push towards getting Luna out of power over in Brazil, and their big push towards Bolivia for the last 2 fucking years, which, Elon Musk even openly stated as a joke, of course, that they need the lithium from, is exactly because of this. Lithium is the oil of the future. Lithium is the gold of the future. Lithium is everything of the future. So as cliche as the joke is, but expect a lot of calls for democracy in countries which are relatively wealthy in good old lithium.
Something that would be completely legal. So this statement cannot even be spun as just the military trying to enforce the law or anything. It was quite simply the chief of the armed forces declaring his possible intent to interfere in democracy if things don't go the way that he likes. So President Luis Arce, who is currently in something of a conflict with Evo Morales for the MAS party's presidential candidacy next year, nonetheless immediately fired Zuniga, because obviously in Bolivia, the military are not allowed to intervene in civil matters like that. And in response, it appears that the ex-military chief has ordered troops loyal to him to attempt a coup against the democratically elected government of Bolivia. And this is...
Where would you put this insane coup failure, which we'll later dig deeper in on the scale of biggest coup L's? I think the biggest coup L is the fucking Turkish one, when they tried to get rid of Erdogan. The second massive coup L is obviously Prigozhin trying trying to go into Moscow, though that coup, while being a massive L and eventually leading to his death, like at least had like moments of conflict, like big explosions, planes coming down, like, you know, horrible deaths, etc., which obviously I'm not celebrating, but I'm like, something actually happened. But in this one, it was just like a bunch of guys standing around and be like, no, we run things, and then everybody being like, no. And it was very beautiful to see the mass mobilization of the Bolivian people, which reacted immediately. And that's probably thanks to a lot of structural reforms that they pretty much engaged in after the previous coup, because they knew, okay, if this happens again, we need a way to counter this. Immediately, every single large-scale union said, we are starting a permanent strike, a total strike. We're not going to do absolutely fucking anything. People immediately flooded the streets, both direct supporters and even people who might not be direct supporters of the current government, but people who are normal and are like, coups do not lead to anything fucking good, especially when they're run by the military. The unilateral support by all opposition and domestic political powers as well to the coup, and just an impressive immediate cut down on what these good old Elon Musk cocksuckers wanted to do. I don't know, CIA kind of fell off. You remember when they tried to do the same shit in Venezuela, and a bunch of basically a bunch of fucking fishermen just caught the fucking mercenaries? It's pretty L. It's pretty L. So what I'm saying is, on the tier list, I'm pretty much putting it on top. This one might be the worst one, even more cringe than the Venezuelan one, because it was tried by the domestic military, and even more cringe than the drive to Moscow by our good old boy Prigozhin back in the day, because there was actual fighting there. Okay, actually intense fighting.
It's very, very serious. There are troops everywhere. The government is not mincing words on this. Quite simply, it is a coup attempt directed at the fact that they do not want to allow the possibility that Evo Morales could run in the upcoming Bolivian elections next year and win. Zúñiga has announced in a statement to the media that he will form a new cabinet and that Luis Arce remains the president for the moment. Now, he obviously does not legally have any sort of authority to dictate these things, but he's also the one who is currently occupying some of the most important strategic locations in the country with armed troops. So perhaps what he says will nonetheless go.
Yes, and as we've seen later, the morning after the coup attempt, the Bolivian general who led the coup... show me more, please. The morning after the coup attempt, the Bolivian general who led the coup attempt has been arrested, and President Luis Arce, or Arce, I'll just call him Louis because I'm a French cuck, addressed a cheering... Luis, probably it's Louise. Addressed a cheering crowd. Don't give me shit, man. You guys fucking said poutine for like 10 years after the 2014 debacle, okay? The government says they had planned to remove the general-in-chief of the armed forces, and that this was the motivation behind the coup attempt. They also say that the reason it failed was because outside reinforcements did not arrive, so double L's. The arrested general, meanwhile, has said that he carried out the attempted coup on orders of President Luis himself, yeah, very much, in order to boost his popularity as he emerged victorious. That's some self-sacrificial shit, bro. Supporters of Evo Morales, currently engaged in an internal faction fight with Luis, also claim that this was a staged coup. Okay, that's a very interesting plot twist right there. Supporters of Luis say that this theory is absurd, and that the only reason for the coup failed was due to popular resistance, as well as the role of the police, who remain loyal to the elected government. We're playing some checkers while they are playing some chess. Am I right? Speaking of checkers and chess, an ad will start in exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds. If you would like to play checkers while watching ads, then watch them. If you would like to play chess while supporting the show, do consider becoming a sub for $5 a month or for free through Prime. The choice is yours. Thank you very much.
El pueblo movilizado ha hecho posible que hoy hagamos retroceder esta intentada conquista. ¡Gracias, pueblo boliviano! Nadie nos puede quitar la democracia.
So again, the Arrestor General said that he carried out the attempted coup on orders of President Luis himself in order to boost Luis's popularity as he emerged victorious. But supporters of Evo Morales, currently engaged in an internal faction fight with Luis, also claimed that this was a staged coup. So I guess stay strapped in and we see where this goes. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Okay. Paper tigers can't win when the people are united. Look at this. It's fucking gorgeous. Lack of reinforcements and so on. I don't know. To me, it smells a bit because it's too obvious for it to be just Luis trying to stay in power, especially that combined with the fact that the president had the general had just been fired. I don't know. The logic could be like, hey, you know, Evo Morales is so supported because he survived a coup, etc., etc. So I need a coup of my own to defeat in order for me to be potentially able to compete with him in a general election, etc., etc. But I don't know. It feels pretty fucking far-fetched, borderline conspiratorial. But let's hear what depressionnow.com together with Amy Badman has to say on the topic. Let us get depressed a bit. Let us listen to Amy Badman, our favorite depression right in my veins. Yee! Girl, okay. Arce was the leader of the right wing of MIS. Evo, left of MIS, won the internal dispute and has expelled Arce. They will have a face-off next year. Okay. Second failed coup in 5 years. When the U.S. gonna give up? Yeah, right? Like it's CIA really fell off, didn't it? CIA really fell off.
To Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Kenyan President William Ruto has scrapped an unpopular tax bill.
Hello, this is Depression Now, depressionnow.com, brought to you by the War and War Report and Amy Badman.
Following a mass nationwide uprising Tuesday when soldiers and police fired live rounds, rubber bullets, tear gas at thousands of protesters who stormed Kenya's parliament in Nairobi. At least 23 people were killed, dozens more injured. On Wednesday, President Ruto said he'd heard the message of the protesters and had reversed his support for the tax hike.
Yeah, you heard it after you had to kill 30 fucking people, you dumb fucking cretin.
The country witnessed widespread expression of dissatisfaction with the bill as passed, regrettably resulting in the loss of life, destruction of property, and disintegration of constitutional institutions.
Life very unfortunate, and sent condolences to the families of those killed. Earlier today, police and security forces fired tear gas and rubber-coated bullets at protesters in Nairobi after organizers called for fresh demonstrations to continue to demand.
This is like a cliche, like political science thing, but you need to, even if you will agree on what the protesters require from you, first you need to show a extra level of force so that the next time they don't only think, hey, if we just go around in the streets, we're going to get whatever we need. Because the next time people in Nairobi, what they're going to think is, we might get what we need, but a lot of us are going to die, which should directly lower the chances of a potential coup. This is like 101 bullshit political science theory on protest suppression, etc., etc. Don't take it for granted based on statistics, shit, blah 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 blah. But it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Oh, thank you very much, Left Flank Vets, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful stream, Left Flank Vets. Please, everybody, go right now and check out Left Flank Vets and give them a follow. A brilliant comrade. Welcome, Raiders. It is very nice to see you today. We just started a little bit ago, and we're talking about the Bolivian coup. We're catching up on the news, all the classic shit. Coup people taking fucking L's every day, all day for the rest of fucking time. Whip out your big left flank vets cocks and piss all over any coup, positive or none. Okay, even though, like, what fucking positive type of coup if it's not class-based, if you know what I mean. But yes, welcome, Raiders, left flank vets. Thank you very much. I hope to one day return the favor, but we have very weird, very different fucking streaming times. So yeah, if anybody was at any point thinking of gifting subs, now is the time, because our new friends will never fucking watch ads. This is the most anti-ad channel on this motherfucking platform. Thank you very kindly. Let us continue with depressionnow.com with Amy Badman and the War and War Report, as we refer to good old Democracy Now here on the channel, because like all their news is always fucking horrific, and that's what makes them the best news channel, because let's be honest, in this decrepit, dying system, all news is pretty much bad news. Thank you very much, Reno Jam, for the gifted sub. Ain't nobody watching ads here. We're all child soldiers of the great Gunner state of anti-ad Jisrael.
And Ruto's resignation. This is Lorna Diaz, a member of Kenya's Human Rights Commission. She spoke after President...
And there we go, another 5 by the fucking legendary Yanagibashi, who's getting close to being the top gifter here. My fucking favorite fucking oiler up in this shit. Thank you very much, Yanagibashi. Again, many child soldiers must fill the ranks of the Gunner state.
Ruto called protesters treasonous.
It's not protesters who are treasonous. It's Ruto's acts that are treasonous. There is nothing that justifies the use of live bullets on protesters.
Again, just to repeat myself, this is like classic political science takes on, you see protesters on the street. You see that you're gonna like lose all popular support if you do not pass the bill. You go and you say kill 10, 20, 500 of them, depending on the situation.
Wonderful.
And afterwards you go and you
soldier.
pass the
I mean,
bill.
subscriber.
Plus you look like a guy who listened to his people. Plus you intimidate them for the next time when it comes to them potentially protesting. This is like shit that they teach you, in POS, as they call it. Thank you, Dr. Sleepy Fist, for the gifted sub. But again, take that with a grain of salt, because it's not exactly engaging in dialectical materialism. It's just like mumbo jumbo realpolitik. Yeah.
But this regime positions snipers to shoot and kill unarmed protesters.
There's also a very large chance that they've just been called up by, one of the actual centers of power from the West, and we're told, yo, chill the fuck out. Otherwise, no more money for you, my friend.
We'll have the latest on the youth uprising.
Again, everybody here, go check out Left Flank Vets and give them a follow. You have no fucking excuses. Thank you.
In Kenya after headlines. Bolivia's president says he survived an attempted military coup Wednesday when Bolivia's former army chief deployed soldiers and tanks to government buildings, including the presidential palace in La Paz. In a dramatic showdown captured on live television, President Luis Arce directly confronted the rogue military commander, the dismissed army chief, General Juan José Zuniga, demanding he stand down and withdraw his forces. After armored vehicles pulled back from the presidential palace, Arce addressed thousands of protesters who rallied against the attempted coup.
It fills us with bravery, courage to keep resisting, to keep on resisting any coup attempt, because Bolivia deserves its democracy, which has been won in the streets and with blood brothers and sisters. The people involved in the coup wanted to surprise us and the Bolivian people. We've reacted and also...
America fall off super hard. Each coup is worse than the other. Yeah, especially in South America at this point. I mean, how many times can you do it to these people? How many times do doesn't matter which South American state, because at this point they've done harsher or less harsh coups in absolutely every South American republic. How many times... do you think that even the right-wing forces in the country will believe that, oh my God, tomorrow dollars are going to rain from the sky and we shall be liberated from poverty and from corruption, etc., if only we listen to the Yank? Because they listened to the Yank so many times, and even those very same chuds that supported him ended up sucking dick in a very bad way, of course. So... it's, just statistically it will fall off eventually, because you can't redo things like 100 times and hope they work the same way they did previously. So yeah, it's the CIA falling off, but it's also the domestic population, even the reactionary domestic population, not necessarily trusting them anymore. Because even the reactionary domestic, the ultra-nationalists, etc., they might hate the communists, but they're ultra-nationalists, so they believe that their country should be above others. And when they see that cooperating with America doesn't actually bring you anything, doesn't actually elevate the status of your country into something else, then even those reactionaries, domestic reactionaries, will no longer directly support the enemy. The right-wing Bolivians are also crazy Zionists. My tour guy was ranting about how they were pro-Palestinian gangs trafficking drugs through the rural areas. Yeah, fuck it. Show me a right-winger that isn't Zionist at this point.
So the people have mobilized against this coup attempt. Thank you to the Bolivian people.
Hours after the failed coup, Bolivian authorities arrested General Zuniga, along with an alleged co-conspirator, Navy Chief Juan Arnes. As he was being arrested, Zuniga told reporters the apparent coup had been organized by Arce himself to boost his low approval ratings. President Arce, meanwhile, has sworn in new...
Again, I'm not saying this is correct or incorrect, but because we don't have enough information yet. But if I wanted to saw internal division in a country where I'm attempting a coup and I get stopped, that's exactly what I would say.
Heads of the Army, Navy, and Air Force will have more on the attempted coup in Bolivia later in the broadcast.
I like the salute. Are you doing white power, bro? White power? Yeah, your Western-centric analysis of every fucking symbol, eh? Anybody know what is supposed to represent? I don't know. Bolivia? Maybe this is a B, Bolivia. And this is a V and then I. I don't know. That makes sense, A B and then a V and then an I. Boliv.
Israeli warplanes and artillery
Bolivar.
fire have pummeled densely populated areas of Gaza City's Sabra and Shujaa neighborhoods in a surprise attack that forced...
Well, yes, very surprising before we get into properdepressionnow.com. Wait, I don't want to stop on that frame. I apologize. Interestingly positive news, both from Kenya and from Bolivia here. Okay, so pretty cool.
Of Gaza City's Sabra and
more like positivenews.com by Amy Goodman and the War and Peace Report.
artillery fire have pummeled
The Peace and Peace Report, the Pissing on Piss Report. Am I right? Yeah, very funny.
densely populated areas of Gaza City.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's time for a fucking zin, bro. It's time for look. I have my entire fucking. I have. I'm not a drug addict. I never did hardcore. I actually never did drugs, but I love when guys are like, I don't do drugs, and then like I have like a double espresso right here. I have my fucking zins right here. I have my fucking air conditioning, which is a drug in itself, which you pour directly into my veins with subscriptions. But no, I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. Proceeds to like do drugs that aren't defined by most people as drugs. So yeah. Let's get that snoozy. Let's get that thick snoozy in my mouth, man. I love grinding on that thick snoozy, man. I love drooling all over their snooze, baby. Okay. I wish there was a Belarusian snooze, so I could say I love that Belarusi snoozy, because that would make sense. So high on AC right now.
Sabra and Shujaa neighborhoods in a surprise attack that forced tens of thousands of pounds.
Jesus, it's raining really intensely outside. I hope that doesn't mess up my audio too much, but even if it does, it's kind of wholesome, so I think you'll be fine.
Palestinians to flee their homes while Israeli ground forces were seen advancing. Al Jazeera reports at least 8 people were killed.
By the way, where do you prefer to put your snooze, all you junkies in chat? In the upper part of your mouth or in the lower part of your mouth? And what's the logic between the two?
With many more missing and believed to be buried under rubble.
The mods, can you show the video? The mods always add the link, and it's always pinned to the current video we're watching. This, if I haven't said enough time, is depressionnow.com.
In southern Gaza, there are reports of civilian deaths in Khan Yunis after Israel's military
Upper on my penis, foreskin. Of course you would say that. Of course I know some stuff you would say foreskin. Of course. Jesus,
struck
wherever
a
I
school
pause,
housing
I'm very
displaced
sorry.
people. Meanwhile, Reuters reports a Palestinian girl died of malnutrition in Kamal Adwan Hospital late Wednesday, becoming the fourth documented case of a child in Gaza dying of starvation or dehydration this week alone. The UN warns nearly all of Gaza's 2.3 million residents are going hungry, with 500,000 facing catastrophic levels of acute food insecurity.
Rest in peace to that beautiful girl. That is just the beginning, unfortunately. Starvation usually takes between 4 and 6 to 7 months of continuous lack of access for people to actually start dropping. It is surprising how long the human body can survive on extremely minimal substance, but once a threshold is passed, people, again, just start dropping.
The Israel Prison Service has significantly reduced food.
You weren't joking. Depression now, indeed. Yeah, man, like, the first part was like, oh, the two good things. And then, Amy Badman has to be like, no, all moods must be ruined. And that is a good thing, because that's the reality of the world, my brothers, sisters, and NBs. That's the reality of the world.
Food rations provided to Palestinian prisoners to the point of starvation, with many prisoners reportedly losing dozens.
Nothing like wrecking kids developmentally for life with starvation. Oh, yeah, don't even get me started on that. Like, there's no going back from that. Like brain development, physical body development, muscle development, fucking bone structure development. Like same like in Iraq and actually ex-Yugoslavia where they dropped crazy amounts of fucking depleted uranium, or Vietnam where they dropped even more insane fucking shit. Like 2 decades need to pass for us to actually see the long-term consequences of the dirty wars that they wage,
of kilograms of body mass. That's according to the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, which reports Israeli officials actively concealed information about Israel's failure to adequately.
And that's not addressing fucking PTSD, the extreme anger you feel for the people that you've lost, etc., etc. The conversation can be unending on the consequences of everything that we're seeing happening in front of us.
Feed prisoners as required by international law. In a letter to Israel's High Court of Justice, the far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir argued in favor of cutting rations to prisoners, calling the policy a deterrence. Meanwhile, Israel's cabinet has advanced a bill that seeks...
Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay, that is important. Words are important, etc., but, like, re-listen to this.
In a letter to Israel's High Court, feed prisoners as required by international law. In a letter to Israel's High Court of Justice, the far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir argued in favor of cutting rations to prisoners, calling the policy a deterrence. Meanwhile, Israel's cabinet...
Like, again, to say it 700 times, yes, words are important, but I don't care if you call it a genocide or ethnic cleansing or chickens dancing around in a circle. It is people dying and it is people starving. But the Zionists know very well that the West doesn't actually care about events. It cares about what we call events. It cares about aesthetics. So the far right fucking cucks from Zionistan are saying, oh, we need to recalibrate what we're calling starvation, deterrent, okay? We need to recalibrate what we call it, because ironically, then the American status quo, the American establishment, will take up those very same expressions and will change the dynamic of the conversation, because again, they care more about aesthetics than actual fucking things that are happening on the ground. Political optics, yes. To be nerds about it.
Has advanced a bill that seeks to permanently ban the Al Jazeera media network from operating inside Israel. In Pakistan, doctors are warning of an epidemic of heat stroke as a searing summer heat wave continues to push temperatures as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In Karachi, home to some 15 million people, hospitals have treated thousands of heat stroke victims this week, with one charity reporting 450 people have died in the past 4 days alone of the heat.
How do I do a genocide but make people think I'm not? Liberals still trying to figure it out. Yeah, just call it something else, man. Just literally call it something else.
Residents say the heat wave has been made far worse by rolling blackouts as an aging electric grid fails to keep up with demand.
Sorry for the little drops you hear. That's the rain outside. It's pummeling my fucking window. I need to find an alternative for this when autumn comes in. It's fucking raining like crazy. Though it gives a little bit of a wholesome vibe, I think, so it might not be that bad.
This is due to climate change that's happening all around the world. This is happening in Europe. They have faced intense heat, but they have taken steps to deal with it. But here it is sad that the government has not taken any effective measures. People are suffering from power outages by the power company that continue through midnight every day.
In the United States,
that was a bit of self-orientalization. You know, the Westerners are dealing with it, but we are stupid and we can't deal with it. My friend, mostly because of the Westerners, you have climate change happening in your country, okay? But yeah, capitalist Westerners. Let's not group thing here.
Supreme Court is...
Let's not be liberals about this. Let's not be liberals about the liberals. Am I right, boss?
rejected a lawsuit alleging the federal government overstepped its authority when it put pressure on social media companies to moderate misinformation around COVID-19 and the 2020 election. On Wednesday,
50 degrees Celsius is going to be the norm very soon. Yeah, that's why I'm going to use all my sub money to like literally have 12 air conditionings here. I've already ordered 10 air conditionings. That I want my apartment to like by itself cause more global warming than the 100 companies that cause 78% of it. Okay. I want like air conditionings everywhere. I want to be the first not champagne socialist, the first like eco-destroying socialist. Okay, I want to be called out on destroying the environment. Okay.
Justices ruled 6-3 that the plaintiffs, a pair of Republican attorneys general and several social media users, lack standing.
First eglo socialist. Good one, Ozora.
To pursue the case, ruling there was no evidence the Biden administration's actions had...
Bro, trying to make his apartment a fridge. That's actually a good idea. I could become like the first streamer that streams from a fridge. I could just sit in a fridge. Buy like a really big fridge and then stream from the fridge. I would just have to get like cable internet into the fridge in order for it to work.
Around COVID-19 and the 2020 election. On Wednesday, justices ruled 6-3 that the plaintiffs, a pair of Republican attorneys general and several social media users, lacked standing to pursue the case, ruling there was no evidence the Biden administration's actions had caused them harm. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reports justices are poised to allow abortions in medical emergencies in Idaho. That's according to a draft copy of an opinion that was briefly posted on the Supreme Court's website, apparently by accident. If the 6-3 decision remains unchanged, it'll reinstate a lower court order that had ensured Idaho hospitals could perform emergency abortions to protect the health of pregnant people. This is known as the EMTALA case. The decision, however, does not resolve the core issues raised in the case. In a concurring opinion, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote, quote, "Today's decision is not a victory for pregnant patients in Idaho. It's delay. While this court dawdles and the country waits, pregnant people experiencing emergency medical conditions remain in a precarious position as their doctors are kept in the dark about what the law requires. The court had a chance to bring clarity and certainty to this tragic situation, and we have squandered it."
I can't wait for Fox News, Daily Wire, etc., to like nitpick this particular quote and completely hyper focus on her saying pregnant people. Oh my God, the wokes are at it again. Pregnant people. The wokes are at it again.
She said.
Where will you go when the icebergs melt? I hear Albania has now mountains, but then again, the whole world is Albania. I know some stuff. I was right about to make the joke, and then I continued reading, and yeah, you did it for me, okay? We're old, proud Shqiptari, brate. We're old, proud Ships.
President Biden and former President Donald Trump are set to square off this evening in the first presidential debate of the 2024 election season. The event will be hosted by CNN. No other presidential candidates will be allowed to participate. The debate will feature no audience, and each candidate's microphone will be muted, except when it's their turn to speak. Tune into Democracy Now! Friday when we bring you...
I love how the muting thing is a thing when it's like a small room where they're talking and there's cameras with microphones themselves. Trump is just going to shout over the fucking guy, man.
Highlights of the debate and analysis.
Poor RFK, fucking not invited. Oh, God.
The state of Texas has carried out an execution for the second time this year. On Wednesday evening, officials at the Texas State Penitentiary...
Yeah, maybe officially in a prison, but I'm pretty sure they've killed plenty of fucking minorities outside of the prison system as well, and inside of it, but not through official means, through the good old needle.
Huntsville injected 41-year-old Ramiro Gonzalez with a lethal dose of the drug pentobarbital and pronounced him dead 24 minutes later. Ramiro Gonzalez had been on death row since his conviction for a 2001 rape and murder he committed when he was just 18 years old. The U.S. Surgeon General's declared gun violence a public health crisis. Dr. Vivek Murthy made the declaration in a video statement released Tuesday following years of pressure by gun control activists.
Gun violence has now become the leading cause of death among children and teens, and that wasn't true a decade ago or 2 decades ago. And so I'm issuing this advisory because I want people to understand the urgency of addressing gun violence, the importance of seeing it not as a political issue, but as a public health issue. And if we see it in that way, if we apply a public health approach to gun violence, we can do what we did with cigarettes and with car accident-related deaths, which is ultimately to make people safer, to reduce the toll on their health, and ultimately improve people's well-being.
The National Institutes...
Let's get the liberal take on you know, the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. The liberal take on that is give everybody flak jackets. Okay, so we should use our public health budget to give everybody fucking flak jackets. Okay, my boy went on and said absolutely nothing. Everybody needs to have a plate carrier. Okay, hey Billy, 8-year-old, you need to wear a fucking plate carrier. It is your vaccine against the bullet. Okay, my child.
of Health reports...
More money for military-industrial complex. We love to see it, baby. But no, it's like gun violence in the U.S. is not just, you know, a person shooting you. It spreads to absolutely all facets of society. Like when you have such like wild availability and wild use as well. This is coming from a guy who in Europe has a fucking gun license and owns a firearm, right? When you know that absolutely everybody around you could be carrying a firearm, that automatically increases the amount of paranoia, both when it comes to pigs, when it comes to cops, but also when it comes to everyday citizens. It is absolutely unhinged and absolutely insane from my non-American perspective for me to be walking around and to be at all times unnerved by the fact that somebody around me might whip one out. And I'm not talking about a big juicy cock that would not unnerve me in any way, but just whip his fucking gun out at any point. And a lot of, for example, police violence, which very rightfully is attributed to, well, you know, fucking racism at the end of the day, is also a big problem because, again, the cop himself, I'm not giving the cop any fucking excuses, but it just, inside of the American psyche, the cop, every time he does a fucking routine stop or whatever, he's not just doing a routine stop on a normal guy, he's doing a routine stop on a normal guy that potentially can have a fucking gun. So obviously the cop is going to overreact 99% of the time. Again, not giving him excuses, just saying it how it fucking is, you know? Two guys get in a car accident and one guy gets out of the car, goes to shout at the other guy. They don't need to be cops. And he sees the other guy fucking going through his glove compartment, whips out his fucking gun and shoots him, even though the guy was trying to get some fucking documentation, because in his mind, at any point, somebody might whip out a gun. It is in no way a fucking healthy society in which that is the norm. You can't tell me that is a normal state of being. Us feeling like we're in the fucking wild, wild west and constantly challenging each other to fucking duels. It's totally fucking unhinged. And again, I'm a gun nut. I fucking enjoy firing firearms, right? I enjoy having them. I enjoy the amount of security it gives me, etc., etc. But it is absolutely unhinged, and I'll say it very openly, for you to have to go... this might be my first actual take on guns or whatever. I don't think I've ever openly said it. And it's vanilla and it's as soft of a take as possible. It is insane to me that you need to go and get a license for a car and you do not need to go and get a license to a firearm. So I believe everybody should have the right of access to a firearm, but only after having gone hardcore fucking psychological evaluation, number one, and number two, after actually being trained to use said firearm. That's it. The lukewarm as shit. All you gun nuts fucking shoot me, and also all you fucking libs fucking shoot me because you're terrified of a thing that goes bum bum. Okay, it's as simple as that, really.
Last year, nearly 43,000 people died in the United States from gun-related injuries. A U.S. federal judge has sentenced former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez to 45 years.
You need a license for fishing, yeah, and you don't need for a gun. I mean, it's insane.
In prison on drug trafficking charges. Prosecutors successfully argued Hernandez ruled Honduras as a narco state as he accepted millions of dollars in bribes from cocaine traffickers in exchange for protection.
Let me blow my nose.
Before his presidential term ended in 2022, Hernandez was a longtime U.S. ally who received unconditional backing during his 8-year rule, despite mounting reports of serious human rights violations and accusations of corruption and drug trafficking. And Brazil's Supreme Court decriminalized the possession of small amounts of cannabis for personal use. Although sales of marijuana remain illegal, advocates say decriminalization could slow the pace of mass incarceration in Brazil, where more than 200,000 people remain behind bars on drug charges. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Good.
But if I have guns, I can overthrow the government. Yeah, and nobody even knows how to properly fucking use them. Like 99% of American fucking gun owners don't even know how to use them. So even from the perspective of, hey, we need a well-armed and well-trained populace in order to fight the potential oppressive authoritarian government, well, what about the fucking well-trained part of well-armed? You will de facto have a well-trained populace if you need a gun license. Haha! Mind fucking blown. Motherfucker can't fucking hit the rim of the fucking paper at 15 meters. He's gonna fight the CIA and the fucking Navy SEALs when they drop in his fucking house. Yeah, for real. So, but again, even entertaining this fucking unhinged point, what about the training? What?
And I'm Narmeen Sheikh. Welcome to our listeners and viewers across the country. And
thank you very much, Amy Badman with Depression Now, depressionnow.com, brought to you by The War and War Report. Thank you very, very much, Key. Thank you very, very much, Key. Now, let us travel to the beautiful, beautiful land of Britain and learn a bit more about their elections. Should you care? No, probably not. Is anything going to change? No, probably not. Are the English de facto extremely boring and therefore their politics extremely boring? Yeah, pretty much. Did any resemblance of hope in the form of Jeremy Corbyn die out when he was ousted from British politics? Yeah, pretty much. Is Labour now almost as right-wing as the fucking Tories? Yeah, pretty much. Is the UK a country that has had an unelected leader for a few years now, extremely hypocritical for calling out other leaders for not being elected? Yeah, pretty much. But hey, it's the English, so let's pour down a cup of tea and listen to an American Englishman tell us about UK elections. Wasting time, one productive hour at a time.
Our main story tonight concerns the UK, the #1 study abroad destination.
Beautiful mods, if you could adjust the title, I would love you very much. Thank you very much.
Americans who refuse to learn
my beautiful mods, also known as the Pokemon.
New language.
Because I collect them. I collect them and I put them in small basements. Like I have basements underneath my basement that was given to me by JT from Second Thought, where I collect all my Pokemon. It's not in Pokeballs. It's in basements because I have labor rights that I need to support, and a Pokeball is far too small.
It's also fun fact.
You make them fight each other too all the time.
This request.
The king, he went to the. Rishi Sunak went to the king to ask about his request or whatever, and the king, he was talking to the king, and the king just turned to one of his servants, and I was like, "Why is a boy talking to me? Who let the water boy inside? I thought all the water boys are outside to give me my when I shoot the pigeons." That was a race joke. Get it? Because he's ethnically Indian. It was a race joke. I did a race joke there.
And we will have a general election.
What is that water boy doing here? I thought he only fills my water bottles.
On the 4th of July.
I have to use every excuse for to say water bottle. That was the original thing. Thank you very much. Only Fact X for the resub. Uncle Rishi. In the world, you couldn't build a freestanding building, you fucking schmucks.
Labour.
Do they even have buildings in Britain? Yeah, it's all bogs. What was that old quote, Roman quote about British people? Somebody send me the link, please. Caesar and Britain. Somebody send me, like, they're bog people, and they're like, please, someone send me that. It's like almost like a meme video, okay? Chud, brown Indian Hindu, ruling over white Christian PDF files. What a turn of events. But yeah, somebody send me the fucking English people Roman quote when the Romans for the first time saw English people in their reaction.
Could win around 450 of the 600.
That's like racism that's old enough that we can do, okay?
50
There you go. Somebody found the actual quote, but not the video. But that's okay. Thank you, BNNI Venom. Herodian writes as well of Severus in Britain. Most of Britain is marshland because it is flooded by the continual ocean tides. The barbarians usually swim in these swamps or run along in them, submerged up to the waist. Of course, they are practically naked and do not mind the mud because they are unfamiliar with the use of clothing. Some of the original interactions with what became the tribe that conquered the world. The rest of us should feel ashamed, okay? The rest of us should feel ashamed. These are the people that created the, what do you call it? The empire on which the sun never sets, okay? Demonic animalistic bug people. Okay, now we're overdoing it. Now even I feel like I'm being a bit racist to the Angloids, but you know. They're just silly British boys. Look, he's on the water. He's on the water and being a silly British boy. Brat, why does he want to draft teens instead of establishing social services to make Britain less shittier? Are they going to fight immigrants? Nope. Duh, Russian hordes are coming, my brothers. That's the pitch. But it's not working because people aren't patriotic anymore because people can't fucking afford food, dude.
If you in the weirdest
Photoshop, he did Photoshop. Oh my god, I'm dying. Comrade Crip is really pissing on he's really pissing on the fucking John Oliver levels of humor. And it's very deserving. It's like, let's be honest, this is not the peak, but hey. What is peak, okay? I mean, you are watching Yopnik Twitch, that is peak. I'm going to make niche jokes about how the king was racist to Sunak.
Place.
What about the economy? What are you doing?
Like we said yesterday, cinema. This is cinema. Kino. Go now, please.
To laugh at herself, Theresa May never really connected with the public. Despite her attempts to laugh at herself, Theresa May never
Again, the lizard woke up and the fucking skin suit didn't fit, bro. Oh, may I Pokemon get out of here now, please, okay? Get out of here and get me some money, too. What was that song? Get out of here and get me some money, too. What was that fucking song? Jesus. What was that song? Get out of here and get me some... No. Come on, help me out now. It's stuck. Get out of here and get me some money, too. It was a fucking song. The one from Fallout New Vegas? From Fallout New Vegas. Okay. Get out of here. Get out of here and get me some money too. Okay, there we go. It was this.
You had a plenty money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out here and get me some money too.
That was it.
You're sitting down wondering what it's all about. You ain't got no money, they will put you out. Why don't you do right like some.
You know, you're walking at wait, Fallout New Vegas speed run meme. Okay. This, wait. This, let me do it proper.
Some other men do. Get out of here and get me some money too. If you had prepared 20 years ago, you wouldn't be wandering now from door to door. Why don't you do right like some other men do?
Thank you very much for joining me for the small music break. Now we return to our regularly scheduled program. I unironically forgot about this one. I completely forgot this one. I unironically forgot the what was even her name? Truss? Truss, yeah. Oh, they had so many. They had so many Pokemon. It was awesome. Speaking of things you will forget, definitely, compared to things you will not forget, you could support the channel for $5 a month for free through Prime, which you will never forget because it will elevate you to a status that will allow you into heaven. Contrary to that, you will be given literal hell by Twitch itself in exactly 1 minute and 50 seconds. Literal hell also being titled as ads. So, literal hell or a ticket to heaven through a gift sub or personal sub or free through Prime sub. The choice is yours. Heaven or hell. This is the most intimidating fucking ad pitch I've ever done in my life.
Of his own lockdown rules. So, he then gave way to Liz Truss, who had the shortest tenure of any British...
Completely forgot this fucking person, man.
Prime Minister.
Thank you very much to the legendary Sean Shank for 5 gift subs, allowing 5 people into heaven and definitely ensuring his position right next to the big G as St. Peter opens those pearly gates to him. Hell shall not be experienced by 5 people thanks to you, Sean Shank. Thanks, Sean Shank, if you receive the sub from him. The Gunnar army rises, and with every Gunnar, there will be more people in heaven.
Me on protests.
Thanks again.
I went on marches.
Like, I think the reason I forgot her is because she just... I mean, every stream I have, like, a misogyny hour for, like, a minute. She just looks like a younger version of the other one. All of you are thinking it, but I'm saying it. She just looks like a younger version of Theresa May. It's the same person. Or I don't know. All white people look the same to me. I don't fucking know.
I made banners. I stayed at peace camps.
What is happening?
That's why I always give the caveat of like, sure, L, ha ha ha, very funny. But as always, it's just normal working people paying the fucking bill. And it sucks. It sucks. We can't even have jokes anymore. Like, I can't even, like, this is the the wokes are coming for me version of Yugovnik. We can't even have nice things like making fun of the British for it, because even when they do a bad thing, it's still the working people fucking eating a giant bag of dicks. Thank you, Ramka, for the 100 bits. Blat, I missed an hour of the stream because I was presenting my final uni thesis. Oh, congratulations. Time for some Zaza and maybe overdoing it with the kulaks. You're never going to let that go, are you? Welcome, Ramka, as always.
20% of people refer...
Thank you, Ramka, for the 100 bits. The Baltics will start properly existing when they stop being liberals like the Georgians. Yep. Like that, the ethnic drive towards liberalism, such as the Georgian one, should be studied for many a millennia to come.
...to their food banks are in work...
Hey, yo, being fucking anti-Italian over here. What, you calling the Lithuanians Italian? Nobody's talking about the Lithuanian discrimination in the Soviet Union, man. Literally, that's why they identified with him so much, talking about, oh, we used to be oppressed over here, you know? Because the Lithuanians are like, oh, we used to be oppressed over here in Soviet Union.
King House.
That inspired, and because I'm not that inspired, I'm not going to give an inspiring speech about the ad that is going to play in 1 minute and 15 seconds. If you would like not to be inspired into a whirlwind of motherfucking consumerism by watching the ad that's going to play in exactly 1 minute, do consider becoming a sub and supporting the show and its growth for $5 a month or for free through Prime. The choice is yours. The ad plays in 55 seconds. Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits. As always, these motherfuckers owned 1/3 of the world at some point, and here is the milquetoast liberal telling you to go vote because, ooh, welfare cuts. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, sir. Pretty much. I saw this very interesting video, how the Vietnam War explains Hamas's strategy. This is controversial. Time to go into controversies. Indeed, controversies. We said the hummus word, okay? The hummus word has been said.
Viet Cong than ISIS. Hamas is more the Viet Cong than ISIS. What if I told you this statement can explain why Israel reluctantly accepted a temporary ceasefire, and that the history of colonialism in Vietnam and the American defeat by the...
Will this video denounce Hamas? It doesn't look like it, okay?
Viet Cong can explain what's happening in
I do denounce all moms who gave birth to people who ask if one should denounce Hamas.
Palestine and shed light on Hamas's strategy. Let us go back in history. Since the 1800s, Vietnam was colonized by the French, the Japanese, and then the French again. They fought off each colonial and imperial power by relying on the strategy of guerrilla warfare to defeat more powerful adversaries.
Too much photo effects, bro. Too much photo effects. I know you want to look like serious, but too much, please.
Their goal was to establish an independent and democratic Vietnam. It came close in 1954. But against the backdrop of the Cold War, global powers got involved and pushed for the partition of the country. The North went to the communist Viet Minh revolutionaries that defeated the French, and the South to a Western-backed regime. While reunification through elections was part of the agreement, the Americans made sure it never happened.
Finally, you have broader considerations that might follow what you would call the falling domino principle.
They feared the domino theory. If one country fell to communism, then others around it would too, so the South became essential for American regional interests. But the Vietnamese opposed partition and wanted to liberate and unite their entire country. This was their foundation for war against the South and the US, what they regarded as a just war. This is where the Viet Cong come in.
Thank you very much to False Kakaroto for the sub. Welcome, my beautiful child soldiers. That's how we fucking do it up in this bitch.
Group that the Financial Times compared to Hamas, also known as the National Liberation Front.
Growing our great Gunner Hamas armies to re-establish a great Gunner state of Jezreel.
Of South Vietnam, they were based in the South and fought the regime from within. Unlike previous Vietnamese revolutionaries, they relied on a guerrilla strategy through a people's war, one that would draw in the enemy and had the support of the people.
Close look at the bitter day-to-day of combat against the wily, resourceful guerrillas.
Guerrilla warfare is usually when there's an asymmetry of power between one side and the other, often fought between insurgents and a conventional army. And the conventional army loses if it does not win, and the guerrilla wins if he does not lose. In this type of warfare, the main objective of the guerrilla is to survive protracted fighting with the adversary and avoid big decisive confrontations that play into the strengths of a conventional army. The guerrilla keeps doing that until they overpower or wear down the enemy by consistently extracting a cost from them.
Guerrillas leave wreckage, suffering, and death in the wake of coordinated sneak attacks on
guerrilla warfare. Ooga booga, baby.
3 U.S. installations in South Vietnam.
Most famously, the Viet Cong used an extensive tunnel system that extended for tens of thousands of miles and served as their base to engage in effective guerrilla tactics. They used these underground routes to house troops, transport communications and supplies, lay booby traps, and mount surprise attacks, after which they could disappear underground to safety. For the Americans and South Vietnamese, it was like they were fighting ghosts.
Ah, I found him. Saddam Hussein.
And the Viet Cong was able to inflict heavy costs on them. In the face of this, the US deployed the longest and heaviest aerial bombardment in history by dropping over 7 million tons of explosives and killing over 3 million people. Their strategy was to cause so much death and destruction that people and the guerrillas would abandon their cause. But they never did.
Dr. Sleepy Fist, you were slow. You were very slow.
The US government constantly lied to the American public about the war and justified it by framing this as a fight against an immoral enemy. But as this became the world's first televised war,
Disco Partisani. This will be the song of the future guerrilla forces of socialist movement. Disco Partisani. You know this one? A Balkan in the fucking chat reminded me of this. Completely forgot about this. The song of violent guerrilla warfare, okay? The imperialists shall fear as they hear the sound getting closer and closer to them. Wait for it. Not this one. Ah, this part. Wait. This is like jamming on the tanks as they roll in. Oh, it never gets old. It's so fucking good. So fucking good. Oh, back to insane horror.
Images from American massacres and the use of weapons like Agent Orange and napalm sparked outrage. This led to mass opposition to the war around the world and one of the largest protest movements in U.S. history. After 20
Thank you very much for the 5th month sub. Fernanda Leon. Thank you very much, man. Subscribed for 5 months, actually. Oh, holy shit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, they've been subscribed for... Why does it say one thing here? Currently on a 3-month streak, but subscribed for 5 months. I have 2 screens that are telling me completely different things about you, Fernando.
years of
Fernanda, apologies.
The Vietnamese were able to liberate and unify their country and defeated a global superpower by maintaining the principles of guerrilla warfare. The conventional army couldn't win, and the guerrillas didn't lose. Does all of this sound familiar? Hamas believes it is fighting a just war for the liberation of Palestine against an adversary with superior military power. Hamas has relied on guerrilla warfare to ensure that it can survive and fight a protracted war on its own terms in terrain that is familiar to them.
This will be shown in every fucking military academy from now until end of time, this particular fucking shot, man.
And just like the Viet Cong, an extensive tunnel system across Gaza gives Hamas protection, movement, and the ability to conduct hit-and-run operations against Israel's ground invasion. This is already leading to significant Israeli casualties and military losses. But this also means that Israel...
They subscribed for 3 months in a row, but have been stopped for 5 months in total. Okay. I am still baby streamer. I'm still baby streamer. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, please. I cannot weed, okay? Little babies don't weed. Little baby streamers don't weed. I don't know.
isn't able to achieve quick, decisive wins compared to its more conventional wars.
The Red Triangle is such a good PR move. Like, hasn't it become like a meme because of the videos? I don't think they used it thinking that, it's going to become like a thing that people put next to their names on Twitter and shit.
Especially as it has said it's a objective to eradicating Hamas, which in these circumstances is almost impossible. The longer Israel fights, the bigger impact it will have on its economy given the size of its army in proportion to the country's population. That is a high cost to live with over a long period of time. Secondly, Israel's unrelenting aerial bombardment of Gaza to establish deterrence by retribution and to have people turn on Hamas.
When I play FIFA and I see the red triangle above my player, I get scared. Oh shit.
Has caused mass death, destruction, and glaring
Well, they will need to change that, eh?
war crimes, and is failing to crush people's appetite for liberation. And because of social media,
I thought it was also a tie-in with FIFA because they use red arrows above your character. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay, I learned something new from chat. Thank you very much, chat.
Images have been broadcasted all over the world in a way Israeli propaganda can no longer contain, sparking mass protests, solidarity, and pressure globally, which is starting to have an impact on domestic politics in the US and the rest of the West. Within this context, and after weeks of bombardment and a ground invasion, Israel has yet to achieve its military objectives or release prisoners held by Hamas through force.
This was made 6 months ago. Holy shit. You were not properly vetting
They
videos.
accepted a temporary ceasefire deal now, even though it was on the table weeks ago. Because remember, in guerrilla warfare, the conventional army loses if it does not win, and the guerrilla wins if he does not lose. And at this point, Israel is not winning and Hamas has not lost.
Yes, 6 months later, the story is the same.
In many ways, Hamas is replicating the Vietnamese experience, and to understand it, we must look to history, because it can shed light on the present and cut through the fog of war. My name is Salim, and I tell stories that connect the unexpected. Follow for more.
Thank you very much, Salim. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I found this video to be relatively interesting. Now let's go into more like social commentary and so on. What happens now that we all hate our phone? And I think it's a play towards, I don't know if it's going to be a libbed out video or whatever, but I think it's a play towards what if we start perceiving screen time as smoking cigarettes, which, as we all know, is the greatest American demon of all time. The most successful PR strategy in America's history, at least domestically. They did one thing right, I guess. Oh, thank you, Pandas. Thank you, Pandas, for the 6 months, man. The fucking OG Pokemon in here. Thank you, Pandas, very much.
How did our smartphones go from something amazingly cool to something that everyone hates?
Feeling that I get sometimes when I use my phone excessively.
I mean, not everybody hates it yet, bro. Like, the fuck you on about? What? I can't take a shit without looking at my fucking phone. What the fuck you talking about, bro? Motherfuckers be using their phone so much when they take a shit that it causes a fucking effect that in the morning when you take out your phone you need to shit, not because it's the morning you need to shit, but because you looked at your phone and now you need to shit. I'm on the phone right now, bro. Oh.
And the only way I can describe this feeling is the feeling of guilt.
This is what my minimalistic phone setup looks like.
This is the dumb phone.
Dumb phone sales are up. My parents' 2006...
Yeah, they're up from 2 to 6. They're up from 6 to 8. Yeah, they're up. Okay, brother. Let's see that.
This is the dumb phone.
Dumb phone sales...
Increasing numbers. We don't have a number.
My parents' 2006 digital camera is now peak coolness. The anti-smartphone movement is just getting started. And this movement is gonna change technology probably even more than AI. Because it also...
Whoa. You went from 1 to 1 million, my brother in Christ. Oh, I can already see we're going to only be talking about the device itself, not the structural problems which lead to alienation and then lead to us staring down our phone because we need any slight positive feelings to shine a light on the darkness in which we find ourselves in, etc., etc. And it's just a more readily available method through which we participate in escapism without necessarily further damaging our bodies, while most likely to an extent damaging the way that we perceive the world and the way our brain is wired. But then I doubt he's going to go that way. You can already see we're not going to make it to the end of the video, and it's been 35 seconds. All the red flags are there. I don't know, chat.
starts from one simple idea. What will happen when using a smartphone becomes...
And I can already see the red flag on, like, hey, like, smartphone's bad because, like, we spend too much time with them. Here's another gadget that you might spend less time on and then, I don't know, lament in your own alienation with different methods. This is supposed to be shit that I say as a proud alcohol consumer, right? Like, are you fucking Zoomers with your fucking phones? Just go out and get drunk with your bros. It's gonna lead to far less alienation, trust me. And I unironically believe in this, but like, or drink tea with your bros. It doesn't fucking matter, or sisses or whatever. But no, this is not gonna go in that fucking direction. Smartphone bad. Don't forget to like and sub while you watch this video on the toilet.
Cool, just like smoking. And we're gonna see exactly what happens. But as I started to dive deeper into this, I realized that...
Okay, that's an interesting question. Like, what if we can have a pitch that is strong enough and widespread enough that can destroy our image off the phone and our image of spending pretty much between 20 to 40% of our life just consuming it constantly? And an argument could be made that that can be very successful because... well, in the past, we managed to destroy one of the biggest industries at the time, which was the tobacco industry, which is, to this day, one of the biggest industries of our time, right? So if we manage to kill the tobacco, which literally, like, chemically connects you to it, to its consumption, he said as he popped a Zin in his mouth, what can happen? There's no reason not to believe that that can also happen to the phone with enough governmental policy, et cetera, and a push, but yeah.
This whole movement is based on an entirely wrong idea. Because
Smartphones is not about being cool or uncool. For me, it's utility. Yeah, for me, it's as well. And for most people, it is. But again, we need to comment on the fact that a lot of people just fucking, live with it as a form of escapism. Well, not admitting to themselves that it is a form of escapism, because we have very much so defined consumption habits of nicotine, of alcohol, of harder narcotics, etc., as you know, forms of escapism, as we should, because they very much so are. But it's still relatively taboo, I guess, to apply it on the phone, because it's such a integral part of the way we experience the world at this point. You know, nobody remembers the pre-phone era. You know.
Aren't really the problem. Social media also isn't really the problem. This thing is the problem.
Oh shit, what's going to be a test plus launch, backlog, North Star build. The loop is... Yeah, the red flags just are fucking... And they're not the Soviet flags. They're just waving hard at my face.
But to understand it, we have to start here. That's me in 1998, and I know, my outfit was fire. And together with hundreds of millions of people, I was getting my first taste of the internet. I grew up downloading music from Emule, chatting with friends on MSN. I bought Minecraft Alpha in 2009. I signed up to Facebook, because believe it or not, it was the cool thing to do at the time. Technology was cool.
Remember when Facebook was cool? Remember when Facebook was cool? Oh, God. The thirst traps on Facebook were something else. The old people know. The old people know. People who were teenagers when Facebook was the peak, the thirst traps were something fucking else. It was weird, dude. It was crazy, man. It was fucking crazy. In high school, yeah. It was fucking wild. My dad joined Facebook and ruined it. I think that ruined it for all young people in general. Yeah.
Social media was cool.
2008 was a great year, yeah. Not for the economy, my God, Lord.
And when smartphones arrived, they were even cooler. My first smartphone was an HTC Sensation. Look at that sweet animation. It's so nice. But in 2012, something happened.
I literally started with a Samsung, and I have not had a single phone that isn't a Samsung to this fucking day. Jesus Christ.
These are the charts that show anxiety levels and feeling of not...
I was a Messenger kid. Dude, in the Balkans, I use Telegram and Messenger to this day. I use Facebook Messenger to this day, arguably the most to interact with my friends. Isn't that wild? Oh, even though, like, arguably, like, it shows that, you know, just the marketing of, hey, just Messenger titled something else as a marketing strategy to push different messengers didn't work. But obviously, Viber, WhatsApp, Telegram. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't know why. Yeah. I use Viber. I use Viber, and I use Telegram pretty much all the time.
In life, teenagers. And it's clear something went wrong.
Telegram for groups, Messenger for direct chat, even though Messenger is really bad, and Viber for family. That's kind of how they split.
And guess what was skyrocketing to the main...
Line crew, yeah, I used to use Line as well. My dad was like super trippy. He was like, the government can't trace you online, you know? And then he read an article about how the government can trace you online, and I stopped using Line because he was the only guy I was texting online. Like, I'm like, Dad, are you doing something illegal? He's like, no, but I don't want the government to read my shit. He was like, that's my boy, base dad.
Stream in 2012? Yep. Timelines match perfectly. I spend 3 hours a day on my phone. I feel addicted. That's it. Smartphones are evil. Except...
What messengers do you use? Thank you for the poll. WhatsApp leading. Nobody Telegram. What the fuck? Telegram is the best. Like, Telegram is like incredibly fast, incredibly smooth. Like, Telegram is actually like really, really fucking good. Okay, one person is using Telegram. I'll click Telegram as well because I use Telegram as well. So, and that made it 2 people. Okay. SMS Messenger. Okay, Messenger by a lot of people. Okay, so there's boomers in chat, hardcore. And other, there's 4 other. Signal. Yeah, Signal. I think I've ever downloaded Signal. WhatsApp wins. Jesus, the Chinese are really taking over the world, aren't they?
Because something else was discovered in 2012. Something much more hidden, but also much more dangerous. Think about it. When you feel bad for wasting hours on your phone, what are you...
Yanagibashi, I don't text people, I'm not going to lie. Are you one of those people that just calls every time? Come on, Jan, I didn't think you'd, like, that much of a fucking boomer. I think we can all agree, like, doesn't matter what texting app you use, but if you're the fucking guy that calls all the time, don't fucking call me all the time. The fuck? It's disgusting. That's ew. I love everybody's ew. I don't call either. Okay. You chat and Twitch. There you go, Yana. You chat and Twitch. Psychopaths call people nowadays, right? My whole family are psychopaths. Speaking of psychopaths, a lot of psychopaths are going to try and sell you things in exactly 1 minute. But you can avoid that while supporting this incredible conversation about what best messenger app you should use for $5 a month or for free through Prime. Talk about different products or have different products pitched to you. That is the choice in front of you. But with one, you can actually support the show and make my mom text me on Telegram how she's proud of me for the new subs I've received. Thank you very much.
You do. Probably scrolling TikTok, which is media. Or Instagram, which is social media. Or playing the latest dark pattern playing to win game like Monopoly Go, which in the end is media. Disguised as a game, because all you do in this game is press one button, so probably Vacuum Cleaner Simulator is a better game than this, but still. Surely you don't hate your smartphone when it's guiding you through a new city with Google Maps, or when it's taking picture of good memories with your friends, or when you're drunk and you need to call an Uber. We're addicted to media. Smartphones just serve it best right now. But the invasive and addictive media of today has one key difference with TV or MySpace or even the Facebook I was using in 2010, and it's this, the loop. This loop is how tech products are built. Basically, all software products are built with this. From big tech to TikTok to a two-people startup in a moldy basement. And this is the key. So get ready for a crash course on how digital products are actually built in 40 seconds. So you have your app, you have designers and engineers, but what should your team work on? We could build a dark mode, improve the algorithm, add a new AI chatbot. We have an endless list of ideas, but how do you decide what to build? What we need is called a North Star, an objective that's measurable, a number. If we are, say, Google Maps, we can put here the number of kilometers traveled maps. And this is what we want to grow. So we take our ideas.
Okay, so you have ideas and then you have a goal. Leave it to tech people to fucking use different words. We have English, motherfucker.
We start building the ones that we think will increase this number the most. So,
increase the number the most. So what? So you can generate capital. Okay. So you don't only need this to be a valuable utility. You want this to be a utility that is used continuously. And then the second you want continuous use, utility exits through the back door. Because the peak of utility is you not needing to use it all the time. So that is how the market influences said application or social media development, not necessarily only as a useful tool, but as a tool that can hook you for you to use it for a long time so that more money can be generated. Because again, in a system where profit is everything, you don't really make money by making something only useful.
For example, let's build a new dark mode so you don't get blinded by your phone when you're driving at night. Then we can immediately test it with millions of people around the world and see whether it actually improves the North Star. If it does, we release it to everyone and on to the next one. Now, this is a big simplification, but this is how tech works. This is what I do in my job as a product manager. And around 2012,
I used to be that shit. Guys, I used to be that guy. This is actually me without a mask. I'm kidding, I'm not a fucking ginger.
Media and media companies in general, including Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, well, they have realized that here, the best metric they can put was time and engagement. They discovered that if they optimize for time, they can basically print money with ads or subscriptions. They found a direct correlation between increasing time and increasing the revenue. And so the race for optimizing for your time was on, and all the other apps follow suit.
Yeah, you want more screen time usage. Jesus, yeah, okay. What am I learning here?
Now, this loop is not inherently evil. It's just
the way tech works is someone's kid from the board had an idea, and now we have to spend billions of dollars on it, and it will probably fail. Somebody works in tech.
Really effective way to build tech products. And all it does is build things that optimize for the North Star. But when the North Star is trying to take over all of your users' time, well, that's where this whole mess starts.
Yeah, okay, that is a good point. That is exactly the point. But maybe you should expand it a bit. Now, I'm not shitting on a guy that obviously, like, you know, I'm not being an asshole, but expand it. Why is the North Star what the North Star is? Why? And the answer obviously will be profit. Thank you, Ramko, for the 100 bits. As always, great proposals, but when do we take over the railways and the servers and make the marketers into actually useful propagandists? Yeah, I wish.
This is Chamath Palihapitiya. He worked directly with Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook during those years, and he basically pioneered this time-sucking loop. And this is what he has to say about it.
I feel tremendous guilt. I think in the back, deep recesses of our minds, we kind of knew something bad could happen.
And I probably
still took the money though, didn't you?
I'm gonna mention it, but even this very video is optimized for keeping you here. I'm using music and text and images and hopefully an interesting story so that you will watch it until the end. Why? Well, not because I like it, but because YouTube is also playing this time game. And if I want to tell this story, I need to create something that people want to watch until the end. So in reality, the best way to support your favorite creator is not actually liking their video or subscribing to their channel, is actually to watch the video until the end. But after 15 years of this loop building products that take more and more of your time, people are starting to have enough. Especially younger people that have been exposed much more to the effects of this are saying, you know what, this is too much, I want my time back. And even though it is not the real problem, there's only one thing that people could do: declare war on the smartphone. Dumb phone sales are up, flip phones are cool again, and no, I'm not talking...
So the problem with over-consuming this particular thing, the solution to over-consuming this particular thing is you should consume another thing. We are raging a war against the eternal loop of alienated doom scrolling by introducing another product for it. Liberals never disappoint. They never disappoint. Hey, you're consuming too much of this? Well, consume this other thing because it will let you not consume the previous thing. Indeed, vote with your dollar.
Talking about these flip phones, I'm talking about these flip phones. In 2020, global dumb phone sales reached 1 billion units and growing, while smartphone sales were 1.4 billion units, but it's down.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fucking drug dealers and people that work in construction and people that need longer battery life because of the type of business that they are in, because they are always on, they need to talk more instead of text. This is nothing to do with a massive movement against saving yourself from the... Jesus Christ.
Down 12% from the year before. Interest for the keyword dumb phone has only been growing on Google. There's a new market for less. Light phone is a...
I'm done. There's a new market for... Yeah. As a communist, I want to blow my fucking... load. I'm going to blow my load. Okay, let's talk about Chuds. Let's increase our mood by talking about Chuds. New right-wing influencers. Let me retitle the video. New right-wing... Wait, it's not caps lock, Jesus. New right-wing influencers. Yeah, sorry if you wanted to see the rest of this video. Go and check it out, I guess, if you want to. But yeah, let's solve something that has innately been caused by the market by creating another market. Remember when they said that only like if we concentrate on ad revenue and not subscriptions, we're gonna alleviate the consumer's pain points. And then that exactly introduced the eternal loop of doom scrolling forever and ever.
It
Okay, Chud watch, let's fucking go.
Wacky. Here I am in Kansas.
Unique Unseen, thank you for the cool content, Hugo. Oh no, thank you for being here with me.
As always, I've been on the road for about a week on a
Let's watch some Chuds, brothers. Yes, brothers and sisters. Sit down in your comfortable little seats. Let us enjoy the Chuds with this wonderful, weird-haired motherfucker. Okay.
road trip for the summer, and basically while I've been on the road, this lady has already gone viral, pretended to be a conservative commentator, and kind of get in circles a little bit, and then completely fallen off already. Ronan. Hey, so there's this trad wife influencer.
Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits. I hope you don't stop the stream if we see Bakunin like yesterday.
Who randomly in one of her videos just like says the
liberal solution to everything. How do we build a market out of this? Commodify.
Word.
So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. But that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke-ass niggas.
How do you even do that? What's wrong with you?
It was like the first time I watched it, it was bomb, and then it was bomb, and it was bomb, and it was bomb, and it was bomb, and then she just like unloaded a nuclear missile on me. Peak content, the horrors.
There has to be a lot wrong in your brain for you to think that that's like a normal thing to do. Not even like the main point of the video. She just like threw it in there for fun.
This ain't a trad wife. This is just a racist wife.
And immediately got fired because it's just a disgusting way to behave. But her reaction was to cope and to act like this is all according to plan. You're doing exactly what Joe Biden wants you to do. Way to go. You're acting just as you're supposed to. Giving me a platform as a right-wing influencer. Which, I mean, I guess that's all it takes anymore when it comes to right-wing media. You can just say slurs and...
Yeah, there's a good point someone made. I don't remember. I don't want to misquote, but it's... right-wing media is has no content, has no comedic effect other than them saying something and then the imaginary people living in their walls reacting to that, them thinking how they will react to that, and then them finding that funny. So normal person joke, haha joke, haha hook, haha you laughed. Conservative joke is I say evil thing. Now I imagine people getting triggered by it. Now I feel powerful and funny. That's it. That's literally it. They're just like, is the woke guy in the room with us right now? Is the woke in the room with you right now? That is all conservative humor has ever been.
Get a job. But it started also a strange discourse where people were blaming like Black Twitter and the Black community for being mad at her. It's like it's her choice to be a horrible demonic influencer. That's not on anyone else. People shitting on her for being racist is good and normal. She's acting like it doesn't bother her and that it's actually helping her. Don't fall for it. Her life is falling apart. Luckily, though, as a right-wing influencer, I don't know if she exactly has the gas to keep it going. She doesn't have the kind of camera presence or charisma that you need to be, you know, a demon on camera, an actual horrible monster. In half of her videos, she's trembling, she can't even look at the camera, and she's also making points that don't really have a lot of weight to them in the conservative sphere. She's no Pearl Davis saying women shouldn't vote. Sorry, don't mind the blank wall and the cursed lighting.
Even though Pearl Davis also fell off hard. Like, she doesn't have it in her, brother.
Just forget about all that.
Now, conservative comedy is even simpler. They just want to state their beliefs with a blanket of comedy protecting them from criticism. They can dismiss as snowflake bitching. But no, that's a more complicated analysis. Mine is like you're talking about the superstructure. I'm talking about the structure here, baby. Okay, the basic thing. The basic thing is standing in front of a wall and then calling the wall an N-word and then imagining the wall reacting negatively to you calling it the N-word and then laughing. That's it. That's it.
that for now. So in one of her videos, she's trying to encourage the right to be nicer to women and to marry them so they don't vote Democrat.
We got a problem in this country, and it's people not getting married, not putting a ring on it, and not having kids. But conversely, we also have a problem with a lot of women voting, and they're voting Democrat, they're voting leftist. If you want to fix that problem, you have to wife these women up. Like, we have to stop being incels and stop going up to girls and, oh, no, girls are all just bitches, they're all just whores, let's not even go and ask them out. Stop being a pussy and put a fucking ring on it. If you want to fix the voting problem, that's how you fix it, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We're gonna marry them into the Republican Party, baby.
Yeah, I don't think even one right-winger is willing to do this. Cruelty is half the fun of being a deranged, morally bankrupt conservative poster online. You don't think these freaks find some kind of, like, distorted sense of liberation in acting this way? That's the point. You think she'd understand that, but I guess she's just saying slurs because she feels like it's the right thing to do or something. I feel like she's trying to stay morally consistent by saying that right-wingers have to start being nice to women or whatever, but being morally consistent is something that the right also hates. I understand her POV as a single mom, not really wanting to legitimize degenerate incels and basement-dwelling creeps, but who else are you
I mean, I don't think she's smart enough, but if I was like her PR guy, I would say target the right-wing chuds that do have partners, like married right-wing chuds. Right-wing chuds that are very reactionary towards other men who might not actually be getting laid, right? That's a very good demographic to potentially exploit. Those who do not find their space in right-wing centers of power where the conversation all the time is about how the women are not giving you pussy and that is why you should hate them, etc., etc. There is a decent demographic you can exploit with that pretty easily. So that's what you should focus on. Jesus, I would make a fucking awful fascist, dude.
really appealing
I would make a very good one.
to as a conservative grifter? That's your people. The more of her posts that you see, the more conservative specific schizophrenia you see start to bubble up at the surface.
So you used to not have
But don't they hate single mothers? Is she single? Is she a single mother? Oh, come on. That shit writes itself. Is she a single mother? Because that would be funny. That would be fucking funny. I don't think she is, right? Because she really harps on the trad wife shit, right? Man up and marry me. Man up and marry me. Trad wife without husband is fucking wild. She was canceled by the right because she's a single mother of a mixed race baby. Oh, God. Is this true, chat? Brate moj, koji ste vi kreteni jebote. Oh yeah, no PR can save this fucking woman. Jesus Christ.
problem with all these people flooding the border because, oh, it was cheap labor, we can hire them. I like Pablo. Pablo's so humble. Si, senor. Doing your fucking dishes and doing your gardening. Well, it ain't Pablo no more, motherfuckers. You know who it is? It's fighting age men by the millions that are flooding over our country. And before you say, oh, I'll get land off the grid, I'll stay in the rural areas. Oh, I got news for you. They're shipping them here. They can't take any more of them in these cities, so they're shipping them out to the south. They're shipping them out to the rural areas, and they're about to flood us all the fuck out. I just went to Walmart the other day, and there was two.
I just went to Walmart, and there was the fucking immigrants in the fucking Walmart. They're shipping the immigrants over to us. Can't even live off the grid because they're gonna. I tried to live off the grid, and they're gonna fucking fly a plane over my off the grid reservation, and they're gonna drop some Mexicans.
Two unmarked like school buses full of fighting age men. Not one woman, not one child. Fighting age men, they're bringing them to your fucking back door.
She absolutely did not see a bus full of fighting aged men, whatever that means, at the Walmart. What are they doing, some grocery shopping real quick? They're buying guns to invade
Walmart.
Rural America.
To turn America into Mexico. We don't want them goddamn Mexicans coming over and giving us good food. God damn it. My off the grid Walmart. Yeah, I love how she's like, oh, you can't run off the grid because the immigrants are going to get there. I'm going to give you an example. I went to the off-the-grid Walmart the other day, and there was a bus. There was a bus of other off-the-grid fighting age Mexicans. Brother. Oh. I'm in California and I'm wondering where the fuck are all these scary immigrant people. If you ask any random person what worries them here, it's crazy homeless people who are on the street, again, because of the fucking system. I love it. Speaking of things that I love, there are things that I do not love, and that is ads and you being forced to watch them. Well, in exactly 1 minute, one of those motherfuckers is going to play. You can avoid them for $5 a month for free through Prime and support this Chud takedown. Join me in pissing all over them, or watch an ad and get pissed all over yourself. No matter what's happening, somebody's pissing. The choice is yours.
Coming for Kansas. I'm sure El Grifter here didn't racistly mistake a random bus full of non-white people for an immigrant shipment at the Walmart. She has no stamina for this. The stupid shit she says is tripping her up by the time she makes another video. She can't keep anything straight and is just kind of a stupid person.
And we have...
I mean, she couldn't keep her marriage straight.
these fringes on the far right, we have the fringes on the far left. That they all have their little clubs, they all have their little cliques, they all have their little catchphrases, and they both fucking hate me. They both hate me because I represent you.
Who's me? Chat, I am a single mother now. I'm a single fascist mother now.
Because we're normal. Because I don't want to join your gay club.
She also weirdly portrays...
I don't want to join your little gay club. I'm so edgy. I'm so edgy. The buses with the immigrants are coming to my off-the-grid Walmart.
herself as like a centrist. She calls herself...
Guys, we're gay now.
A normie?
I'm normal and you're gay. I'm one of the normals and you're the gays.
Girl, you are a Nazi. You're like a Nick Fuentes fan. I don't know about all that. Normal person, very normal. The kind of person that thinks that there's buses full of immigrants in the rural South. The buses that take immigrants in America go from the border to northern cities by conservatives. They're the ones sending the buses. Oh my God, they're the ones sending the buses. She doesn't know that. She's too busy posting about how she definitely isn't Jewish. Totally normal thing to have to be posting, by the way. Normal website, normal person, normal ideology. I don't even want to say that. It's gross. This is like what the pits of hell are like. A couple problems she's already having within the right. She isn't exactly your stereotypical feminine woman. She's skinny with a strong jaw and not a lot of like curves or anything, which to conservative means you're a man. Yeah, that gender binary stuff is a bitch, ain't it? So her replies are full of people misgendering her, calling her trans, and then she sometimes...
No offense, but you look like a Jewish woman. Least racist groiper, bro. Oh.
Tries to play it off like she's like, oh, haha. This is killing her. People are also calling her Jewish, although I'm not sure about that. Really just, I think, an excuse to throw that out there, to be honest. Just vile. But, you know, she's rolling in the mud with the pigs. This is what she wanted. The right is becoming more and more toxic, especially to women and people who don't conform to very...
They always have been, Jesus fucking Christ. That's the meme of the right-wing woman. The first thing that is addressed after the ethnic question and the leftist question is addressed is the woman question. And the woman question is addressed very, very simply, and that is, it is not raised. Shut the fuck up, woman, sit. That's it. That's how it's addressed. A fascist woman only exists until the fascist revolution. After that, she doesn't get to be political, okay? She's a fucking breeding stock.
Rigid gender standards, because it is a pillar of one of their primary platforms, not to alliterate, but a principle of modern conservative ideology is gender binary, and rigid gender binary, to the point where they will misgender cis people. I don't... Guys, we're getting a little confused here. You might notice that I have not used her name because, to be honest, I don't even know what it is. Larson, it's just one name. It's not like a Candace Owens or Pearl Davis. It's just like fucking LARP. Maybe. She's also a single mom, and being a single mom and a trad wife at the same time, that's not how it works at all. Conservative media loves to make these exceptions. Like, on a Jubilee recently, I saw Lady MAGA, a Trump-supporting drag queen who very strictly identifies as a gay man, who goes to every Trump event to be like, well, no, guys, I'm the kind of drag queen that we don't want to murder.
We gotta create more niches, 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 more niches. Consume different type of conservative for every type of conservative. More niches, more niches, more niches. Isn't that funny? The people advocating for the world to be commodified are they themselves commodified?
Like, there is that space in media because media is full of...
Yes, it's an echo chamber, but now it's like a bunch of different echo chambers that exist in a very large echo chamber because they're all segmenting the market, like, because they've already become a market, because you can sell a lot of shit to stupid fucking conservatives, okay? Oh, yeah. They just love, like, they love being cucked, but now the market has responded and it's supplying them with the different variations on how they get cucked.
Grifters, and anyone will do anything for a buck. But when it comes to actual political ideology, and especially trying to start something grassroots that is widespread and on social media, I mean, at least Lady MAGA knows a thing or two about pageantry. Laszlo doesn't know shit about anything. So she is a single mom, and based on footage of her baby that conservatives were...
Thank you very much, Romka, for the 100 bits. What about the leftcom YouTubers and their niches? Yeah, dude. Sometimes we do the same thing, but our audience is like maybe 1% of what they have, okay? So let's first build some sort of fucking audience before we try to niche them out, okay? And before more and more grifters come in. But that's the funny thing about leftists, especially here on Twitch. Even though the community is so small, there still are grifters that are trying to just segment and part of it and not let them go down the pipeline any further, just so they can be their good little subscriber boys. They're just good little subscriber oilers that just sit there and never actually learn anything, but just continue to spit to fucking infight.
You know, pouring through. Well, one frame, this baby happens to look a little not white, and that's all it took for conservatives to denounce her. That is all it took. It wasn't any, the baby is white as snow. The picture...
You call those people Trotskyists in my country.
where some of them thought it wasn't white is all it takes. God, conservatives are so stupid. And it includes Lumpkiss, because she's just as stupid as all of the rest of them for trying to be a part of this. For acting as if she could assimilate when not abiding by the very strict...
I mean, remember Lauren Southern is no longer a trad wife. Damaged thousands of lives and pushed thousands of women into a lifestyle that's completely unsustainable and disgusting. Ends up like in an abusive relationship. I wonder fucking why. And then expects us to have pity on her. Fuck off.
In-group that these Nazis have online. The Daily Wire lately has been kind of anti this kind of conservative, posing themselves as big con, as Stephen Crowder would say it.
She referred to men who are, as she put it, in a term first coined by Shakespeare, I believe, broke-ass N-words. And that was enough to provoke mass outrage and breathless accusations of racism.
The more moderate conservatives that don't like saying slurs out loud, that's uncouth. Matt Walsh doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Also, for the record, traditional wives, along with not having TikTok accounts, also don't use vulgar language, especially in public. Lily drops 4 or 5 F-bombs in a 90-second video. That's not how traditional conservative women speak.
He just loves to make up statistics to make the black community look violent or perpetuate false narratives that make immigrants look violent or dangerous. He doesn't like to say slurs, though. He just lies about brown people so, you know, they aren't around him anymore. And everyone else will hate them, too. That's the normal kind of conservatism that you're supposed to do. So naturally,
I mean, to define what kind of conservative you are, you must define what kind of conservative you are not. And Matt Walsh really doesn't want you to think he's a single mom.
Really, Matt Walsh...
Is Matt Walsh even fucking married? He's married to Elisa Ann Walsh. So he is married. Okay. They have children. Beautiful blonde children. Okay, I'm not going to give him shit on this.
Ben Shapiro, they never wasted
This would have been funny if Matt Walsh was actually a single mom.
a good opportunity.
Or divorced. That would be hilarious. But we'll leave that commentary for Steven Crowder.
To denounce absolute obvious grifters like Andrew Tate and, Linguini, especially when they're acting this out of line. But make no mistake that ideologically, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, all the rest are on the exact same side. They will vote the same, they will donate to the same causes, they support the same things. It's just a matter of delivery. And big con, or corporate right-wing media, is as pretentious as it gets. So they're always going to jump on the chance to make themselves look like the more ethical conservative, when it's all aesthetics. No one cares about politics. It's all liberal shit. Who can say the N-word in the most discreet way is the Daily Wire's grift. Some people like to use a hammer, some people like to use a slur. Anyway, yeah, Lamboni's career is completely falling apart before it really even started. And I think that's pretty funny. This was just a brief video on this. Obviously, I'm not really gonna go in depth because I don't care. This is about as much information as you could ever need on this person because you'll probably never hear about them again. You'll hear about me again if you press the subscribe button. And
thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And now, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, your boy needs to go and pack, for he will be riding over the good old pond towards the United States of America tomorrow. So, we, as I promised, are cutting this one a little bit short, for which I genuinely apologize. But the next time you see me, you will be seeing me during the daytime, because I will be in the United States, and that will be terrifying if they even let me into the country. So thank you very, very, very much to everybody who joined me on this fine day. It was a very, very fun stream. We learned a little bit about liberal hot takes on why phone bad. We pissed on the Bolivian coup attempt. We got some positive news. We got some negative news. We covered the UK election, which if I was to define a waste of time, that would exactly be it. I'll be in the United States for 10 days. I will try my best to stream on my regularly scheduled schedule there as much as I can without the full setup, of course. But once I come back, I'm giving you my word now for real, because only the OGs are left in chat right now. I will try and amp up from 3 to 4 streams a week. I really need to do that if I wanna grow this lovely community that I am already exceptionally proud of as it is right now. Thank you very much to my mods, without whom I would genuinely not be able to do this. And thank you, big fucking salute, and thank you to all the subs, especially all the gifters. You are the oil that allows for this machine to grow, expand, and roll over all the cucks and chuds that we find. With that being said, please do join the Discord channel. We are growing a very large community there, and it's the perfect place to keep up with our regularly scheduled broadcast, as well as to meet other fellow-minded fucking edgelord leftists. Follow me on Instagram. That's the only kind of social media I haven't developed enough yet, and on Twitter, etc., etc. The one thing that you might not know, even though I've pitched it quite a few times, is that I have a YouTube channel with highlights from all these streams in case you missed them. Just type in Ugopnik Live on YouTube. Again, Ugopnik Live on YouTube, and you will get highlights every other week or every week, depending on how much time the editors find for you to consume. Now, one more time, thank you very much for joining. If any of you are still here and you haven't clicked the follow button, you have no excuse, because it literally just takes a small press. And as I previously said, I'm going to raid. Let me just find her full name. No Justice MTG. Since we talked about UK politics, this is the perfect streamer for you to learn more about UK politics from, other than just being a great fucking comrade. So, again, thank you very much. Go have fun. I'm going to go die on a fucking 20-hour flight tomorrow. Really looking forward to that one. And yeah, see you next time I'm across the pond, where I'll probably get shot in the first hour. Mwah. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for your time.